What's going on, YouTube? This is Rob A again, and today we're going to be looking at part of my Transformers Prime collection, and I figure what better way to start than with Optimus Prime himself. Now, I don't know if you can tell, this is the first edition version of Prime, and I have made a few changes to the toy. So it was requested that I do my Transformers Prime collection. Unfortunately, I have some stuff in storage, like the packaging I don't have with me. Although I don't believe on the first edition toys that there was any sort of tech specs or bios. I don't think there was anything like that on the first editions. However, there are some other changes, such as I do have the Dr. Wu version of the sword rather than the rubber version, and I'll get a little bit more into this when I do the accessories. But I do have the Dr. Wu sword, and I have painted this. Not terribly well. I just tried to use some enamels, but it didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to. But I think you guys will get an idea for the figure more or less without too much trouble. And without further ado, let's check them out. All right. So first thing you'll notice is that it's a very nice representation of the character model from the show, at least in truck mode. It rolls pretty well. It can have a little bit of problem just due to the way that it transforms. The back legs, as you can see, kind of angle upward a little bit, and because of that, it can sometimes have a little bit of an issue with the, there we go, that's a little bit better, with clearance on the back wheels. But as you can see, once you get it all massaged out, it rolls quite nicely. Now, as I said, I did paint this, so I'm not entirely 100% sure where the paint apps were and were not on this toy originally, but I'll give it my best. I believe I painted the orange on there, which you can't really see anyway, but it has the Autobot symbol tampoed right there. The just clear blue headlights, which are kind of weird. It would have been nice to have some, like maybe just a little bit of silver or chrome or something, or just clear for the headlights, but that's fine. It's got rubber smokestacks, so you don't kill yourself somehow on those, and three ports for weapons or microns will also fit in here. And yeah, I painted the back lights and the hubcaps. These were all unpainted, but as you can see, you can't really see a whole lot of robot under there. I mean, it looks like interesting shapes, but I think you're going to be very impressed with how much this character looks like the show model once he's in robot mode as well. And I think you'll be impressed, because I certainly was. A lot of people have mentioned that on their first edition primes that the top of the truck has a hard time staying down. I have not noticed that to be the case on mine. It may just be simply a way of transforming. Not that they're doing it incorrectly, but just that something may just need to be moved in a tiny little way differently than what they're doing. But that's pretty much Prime in vehicle mode. Let's get a quick comparison. I have my usual standby Deluxe Viacon, and as you can see, he's definitely a lot bigger than the Viacon. I think they scale quite nicely together. And I don't really have any other. Yeah, I have the Robots in Disguise version of Prime as well, but unfortunately he is in storage currently. hopefully down the line, I have quite a few Prime toys, and hopefully down the line I'll get that guy out and I'll do a proper comparison between the two. But for now, in my opinion, this is the far superior toy. And unlike me, you guys don't have to go crazy and import this guy from Japan or Hong Kong or wherever, because he will be released in Toys R Us very soon, and I will probably pick up another one or two if I can swing the money, just to try my hand at painting it again. I really like to actually take all the pins and screws out and give it a proper paint job, because this one I hand painted instead of spraying, which I think would have gotten me a much more cohesive paint job. As you can see, it's got different shades of red here, which is my fault, not the toy. It was just solid red plastic when I got it. So you can see it's got a little bit of Masterpiece Sideswipe syndrome now that I've gotten my filthy hands on it. But I think we're gonna go ahead and transform this guy, and you can see how flippin' awesome he is in robot mode. Alright, so to transform this guy, the first thing you probably want to do is pull these bits off the top of the truck here, and then kind of get these down and out of the way. You can see the trailer hitch. You just want to pull that up, and that locks the legs together. So if you want to, you can even separate the legs now, and just flip that in and clip it down onto the side. We'll just move these down a little bit to get them out of the way. And next thing, you want to take these side panels with the smokestacks attached and just pull those out and up, kind of get them out of the way. And now we're going to pop Prime's head out. Bing! Hello, Optimus. And then let's see if I'm doing this in the proper order. Probably not, but you know, whatever. So these side panels get folded back here, and that'll just keep them kind of out of the way for the moment. And we'll see if that comes and bites me in the butt later on. Alright, so now we've got this weird little situation going on here. Alright, so we're going to take the front halves of the truck and split them down the center here. The wheels come up, the whole sides come up, I should say, and these bits will fold down. But first, we want to get this front section out, and mine is very stiff because, as I said, it's all painted, so it's very stiff. All right, there we go. So we just pull these sections out. And I'm just kind of making a mess of this. I don't have the instructions with me, but just bear with me. The front halves of the truck will flip back, and flip back. And then these panels that we moved here, we just got to move those out of the way a little bit. And actually, what we'll do now is bring this front half up and kind of just sit it right there, so that we can come back here and take his hips and turn those around at the waist. There we go. Now we can fold these panels back, pull these up, and then move these to the side so he has his little wheels at his shoulders. And I know in the show they're actually behind him here, but I think this is close enough representation that I am certainly not bothered by it. I think they actually look better this way, in my opinion. We just flip those panels up onto his back there, and then this whole mess right here we have, which was once the front of the truck, is going to split apart into his chest, and then we just pull those apart. And as you can see, there are little tabs here that the front of the truck originally went into, and we have little tabs here and that's just going to sit in there. And then this peg is going to go into the middle of the wheel, just like that. And then do the same on the other side. It takes a little bit of adjusting. You see the windows are on a hinge and they have to be up at a little bit of an angle. So you just gotta kind of push it in and pull it back, sort of thing, and then plug that in. And then rotate his arms down. Get the elbow going here. Actually, just turn this around. His hand is out. You fold this in and around, and it should. There is a kind of a tab here that will go into this slot. Just make sure it's all lined up correctly, and it'll go just nicely like that. And same thing on this side. Pull his arm down, turn it around, pull his hand out, flip it around, make sure everything's tabbed in nicely. And there you go, you can spread his shoulder pads out however you like them. And then his legs, you just come on down here, and the usual, just plug those right in. Plug those right in. And then he's got some nice big heels on those feet so that he can make lots of fun poses. And here we go. Here is Optimus Prime. And if you're a fan of the show, I think you should be impressed right now, because this is a beautiful, beautiful representation of the character model to have come out of that truck just a few minutes ago. I was very impressed when I actually had this guy in hand. And the paint job doesn't look nearly as bad now. I think it actually kind of perks the figure up a little bit, because he was lacking a little bit in the paint department. Not terribly. He had a decent paint job, but like his hips were not blue; they were just all this gray. And I believe these bumper pieces that are silver in the show were also just gray. But yeah, I really do. So like let's check out the articulation on this guy. You get full range of motion in the arms here. Now they are seated a bit strangely, so if you have his arms raised all the way like that, they do kind of sit at a strange level here. They're not quite centered up in the arm, but unless you're doing that pose, it doesn't really matter. He's got a lower bicep swivel, elbow moves. His hand has a little bit of swivel to it. Actually, it can get most of the way around. Not all the way around, but most of the way. Head is on a ball joint, but it's very limited because of the back of his head. I don't know if this is on all of the figures. I know it was on mine, and I know it was on my brother's. But when we received our primes, and we got them from different places, everything else, the head is put together incorrectly. So I had to actually take his head apart and reset it. And it was a super easy fix. You just need a little screwdriver. And actually, let me get a close-up on his face there. And while I was in there, I went ahead and just painted his pupils a nice electric blue. And I think that looks kind of nice, actually. I like how that came out. But yeah. So also, let's see. He's got kind of, well, not ball joint, but like a universal swivel here. Oh, he's also, his arms can go out. They're a little bit limited by the shoulder pads. You can move them out of the way to get a little bit more motion there, but I'd say this Prime moves about as much as Optimus Prime can actually move. Like, if he were a true physical being, this is probably most of the limits of his articulation, but He's got a knee swivel here, and you know, obviously his knee moves. His feet are on a rocking hinge, so you can get nice staggered poses out, and his feet do go back and forth a decent amount. Like his ankles he can definitely hold some really nice poses, really wide stance poses, and yeah, really nice. So let's check out the accessories for this guy. Like I said, I don't have with me the original sword that comes with him, but this will give you at least a decent idea. It's basically the same thing. This is just hard plastic rather than the soft rubber, which was just annoying. I think I am going to actually paint this top part to the same red color as Prime, just so it looks like it's actually coming out of his hand, but this just goes right in his hand, kind of over his hand, and then he kind of gets it gives the impression that his hand is sword now, and that's pretty cool. I don't, yeah, well, I mean, if you prefer, you can also kind of do this. I like to kind of turn his hand around here, and then you can stick it in that way if you kind of want it, you know, more facing the right direction, or you know, you could even I think, if I'm remembering correctly, kind of do this as well, and I think that looks pretty good too. It actually sits a bit more flush in line with the rest of his arm. And also his gun. This is the original gun that he comes with. I just added a few little paint apps here and then there to look like it's kind of getting ready to blast somebody in the face, and that goes over his hand as well. And yeah, Dr. Wu also makes guns like this, I believe in silver, because I think his handguns are in fact silver in the show, so that does match a little bit better. But I like this black one just fine. And again, you can, I think it's actually meant to go like that. If you just turn his hand to the side, and it sits very nicely there. And I think it actually matches a little bit better this way. And yeah, I really like this toy. He's been a mainstay on my shelf for quite some time when others have gone the way of storage. And he's got kind of hip swivel due to his transformation, but it definitely will offset his hips. So you want to, you know, if you're going to pose him in a cool way, you want to make sure there's like an arm or something in front of the hips to make it not as glaringly obvious that he has snapped his spinal cord. So here's our poor little Viacon getting ready to be ended by our friend Prime. Yeah, so as you can see, he's a decent size. He's nice and tall. I believe I have another. It's the Here. Robots in Disguise RC. I also have first edition RC, but I think she went in storage. I don't know which one I prefer, honestly, and I'll do a comparison video sometime soon, probably, with the two of them. But for now, I just want to get these main guys and the requests that I've gotten up, so you can definitely see he is quite a bit taller than she is here. And that's RC. And yeah, he's just super cool. I cannot recommend this guy highly enough. If you see him in Toys R Us, I don't know when they're coming out. I think it's soon, but definitely go ahead and pick this one up. Yeah, so I think there'll be Toys R Us exclusives when they do come out. It'll be Optimus and I believe Bulkhead. And I'll have a review of Bulkhead up pretty soon. I have the Japanese version, so the colors will be different, but you'll get the gist of how amazing that toy is. Yeah, but this is Optimus Prime for now. Actually, we'll do a quick 360 here. You can see, and it really, I can't even do him justice, honestly, because on camera I can see that the back panels look like they're huge, but if you have the Robots in Disguise version, you know he's got these huge wings that come up. But this one really, if you're looking at him straight on, like, it really does not look bad at all. It really doesn't stick out that much. It really doesn't hang down that much. You can see from this view, like, you can't even see those panels back there at all. It's just a really nice figure. If you're a fan of the Prime TV show, you gotta get this dude. He's a must-have. I definitely recommend this guy. I'm gonna have more Prime reviews hopefully up today. I'm gonna try and get these guys out as quickly as possible. Had a crazy work schedule, working early mornings and late nights, and just not a lot of free time. But I'm gonna try and make up for it a little bit. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, like, comment, favorite, all that cool stuff. Definitely subscribe. I see a lot of you folks are watching and not subscribing, and that hurts my feelings. It cuts me in the core. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, which I'm going to start recording right now. Bye bye.